The world is not a frontier. Yin Xiuha counted the passes again.
17.
The blood at the south gate inspection yard had yet to dry. The dead customs soldier had been covered with a cloth, while the wounded paladin was being treated beneath the altar. The captured mercenaries knelt beside the twisted iron frame. Leia folded the bloodstained treaty.
The Crown will take custody of the prisoners and the documents. This is no mere smuggling case confined to a single territory.
Orban answered at once.
We must burn everything beyond the gate first. Even the medicine crates need to be opened and inspected again.
If we burn them, we destroy the evidence as well.
If we leave them, they'll only kill more people.
Both of them turned to Leon. Instead of answering, Leon nudged an empty medicine crate forward with his foot.
Put the documents and cargo manifests in here. Your Grace will affix the royal seal, and the High Priest will affix the seal of the Order. Last, one of my soldiers will add the fortress seal. The crate will remain in the South Gate guard room, watched by one guard from each party.
Leah asked.
Then who is responsible for it?
All three parties. Whenever the crate is moved or opened, all three guards will witness it and make a record. If one side tampers with it in secret, the other two will know immediately.
Orban did not look pleased, but neither did he refuse. They might have fought together, but that did not mean they trusted one another. Leia went first, pressing her ring into the wax and leaving its mark. Orban stamped it with the emblem of the Order. With a strip of cloth bound around his bleeding forehead, Hardin added the fortress seal. Meanwhile, Yin Xiuha spread the passes out across the floor.
They're numbered from 4 to 20.
Leon crouched in front of her.
What about the first three?
They were torn out. This booklet originally held 20 passes.
Yin Xiuha searched the captured merchant representative's bag. Inside, she found a crumpled pass. The words South Gate Relief Convoy and Patient Transport were written across it.
This is number 1.
Leon stared at the empty spaces. 2 more were missing. Just then, hoofbeats sounded outside the south gate. The soldiers leveled their spears as a horse staggered to a halt in front of the chain. The man on its back toppled off sideways. His clothes were caked with mud and blood.
I came from the southern landing.
2 soldiers caught him and hauled him upright. Gasping for breath, the man said,
A wagon carrying medical supplies arrived at dawn. They had a pass, so we admitted them to the customs warehouse. The men did nothing all day but stand guard beside the wagon. Then, a short while ago, they suddenly drew guns. Everyone in the warehouse was taken hostage, but I escaped through the stables.
Leon asked,
Did you see the number on the pass? It was number 2.
Leah's expression hardened.
The same day as the attack on the south gate.
Not just the same day, it's the same operation.
Leon rose. They had drawn the troops to the south gate, then struck the warehouse at the landing while the fortress's attention was focused here. Hardin picked up his helmet.
I'll muster the troops. We can't take many. The gate may open again, and we still have prisoners to guard. 12 will be enough.
Leah looked back at the royal guards.
Take 4 of them.
Orban stepped forward.
I'll send my knights as well.
Leon shook his head.
Hold the south gate. If even one prisoner disappears, we may lose the testimony we need to uncover who is behind this.
Orban glared at Leon for a moment, then sheathed his bloodied sword.
Come back alive, before I burn everything beyond the gate.
Leon mounted without replying. Yin Xiuha took the reins of another horse.
I need to go too. I can tell the markings for genuine medical supplies from the transport markings they use.
Stay back once the fighting starts.
That I can promise.
They galloped down the southern road. They did not stop until they reached the landing. Blood began flowing from Hardin's forehead again, but he never dismounted. The troops they brought consisted of 6 shieldmen and 2 archers, along with 4 royal guards. Black smoke rose into the sky as the riverbank came into view. Then came the sound of gunfire. Leon reined in below the embankment. The customs warehouse was a 2-story building on the riverbank. A straight wagon road approached it from the front, while a loading door in the rear opened toward the boats. Beside the warehouse, a drainage channel barely wide enough for a person to crawl through ran all the way to the river. A wagon draped in white cloth stood in front of the warehouse. Yin Xiuha studied the side of the wagon.
Those are medical supply markings, but they were added later. They covered the original crate markings with white cloth.
A gun barrel emerged from a second-floor window.
Shields.
Gunshots rang out in rapid succession. The soldiers ducked beneath the embankment. One bullet kicked up dirt, while another shattered a wagon wheel. Screams came from inside the warehouse. Leon studied the wagon road and the windows. If they charged straight ahead, the second-floor shooters would have a clear view of them the entire way. The distance was too great to trust in shields alone.
Hardin. Yes. Take 3 soldiers through the drainage channel, get alongside the warehouse, then find a way inside.
Leon pointed two of the royal guards toward the river.
Circle around by the water and take the loading door. If it's locked, break it down.
He left Yun Sioha and the horses with the remaining two royal guards.
Hold this position below the embankment. If anyone gets wounded in the frontal assault, pull them back immediately.
Hardin asked.
And you, my lord? I'll keep their eyes on those windows.
Leon climbed the embankment with 3 shieldmen and 2 archers. Yun Sioha remained behind a stone pillar below, guarded along with the horses by the other 2 royal guards.
Straight ahead, 5 paces at a time. Do not run.
The 3 shields overlapped. The first 5 paces passed in silence. On the 6th, a bullet slammed into a shield. The soldier in front staggered. The wooden planks cracked, but the shot did not punch through.
Don't stop.
Another gunshot rang out. This time, the bullet passed beneath the shield and buried itself in the soldier's thigh. As he dropped to one knee, Leon braced the shield from behind.
Archer's left window.
An arrow flew. The shooter inside the window ducked out of sight. Another gun barrel appeared at the right-hand window. Leon deliberately raised his shield and turned it that way. The shooters were watching only the front. At the drainage channel beside the warehouse, a mud-streaked hand gripped the edge. Hardin silently hauled himself up, and the soldiers followed behind him. At the same time, the royal guards on the riverside reached the loading door. Leon took one more step forward. The smell of oil drifted from inside the warehouse. Through the gap in the open front door, he saw customs officers bound together. Ledgers were stacked high beside them. A man dressed in white was moving toward the ledgers with a burning cloth in his hand.
Now.
Hardin kicked in the warehouse's side door. Immediately inside was a staircase leading to the second floor. At the same instant, the loading door on the riverside crashed inward. 2 mercenaries guarding the ground floor drew their swords on the royal guards. The shooter at the left window abandoned his position at the front and moved to the top of the stairs. He aimed at Hardin below and pulled the trigger. Click! The damp gun misfired. Hardin used that opening to raise his shield over his head and charge up the stairs. The shooter cleared the gun and fired. The bullet lodged in the shield, but Hardin did not stop. Reaching the top, he drove his shield into the left shooter's chest. The man slammed into the railing, and Hardin's sword cut into the arm holding the gun. The shooter at the right window fired twice toward the loading door below. One of the royal guards took a bullet in the shoulder and fell. The other guard dragged him to the side of the doorway. Both gun barrels had turned away from the front.
We're going in.
Leon took the wounded soldier's shield and sprinted for the front door. The remaining shieldmen stayed close behind him. One of the archers loosed an arrow at the right-hand window, burying it beside the shooter's neck. The man dropped his gun and collapsed beneath the window. When Leon shoved through the door, the man in white was about to throw the burning cloth onto the ledgers. Leon hurled the shield. Its edge struck the man's arm. The burning cloth fell to the floor in front of the ledgers, and flames spread across the oil-soaked boards. Leon dragged over a wet sack and threw it across the fire. Flames flared briefly beneath it, then died away, leaving only smoke. The man in white drew a knife from his waist. A ballistic vest was hidden beneath his healer's robes. He slashed at Leon's throat. Leon ducked beneath the blade, snatched up a fallen spear, and drove it behind the man's knee. The man fell, but still refused to release the knife. Leon twisted the spear shaft and pinned his wrist.
Drop it.
The man gritted his teeth. Leon pressed harder, and the knife slipped from his hand. At the top of the stairs, Hardin finished subduing the shooter from the left window. When the man tried to raise his gun with his uninjured hand, Hardin knocked the barrel upward with the flat of his blade and drove him into the wall with his shoulder. 2 soldiers following behind wrenched the man's arms back. The first mercenary inside the loading door fell after a royal guard slashed him across the chest. The second tried to leap into the river, but an archer's arrow struck his calf. The soldiers seized him at the water's edge.
Free the customs officers first.
The soldiers cut through the ropes. All 4 bound customs officers collapsed to the floor. One was bleeding from the head, but they were all still alive. Outside, the soldier shot in the thigh lay gritting his teeth. The royal guard wounded in the shoulder was also bleeding heavily. Leon tied the captured man's hands behind his back. They had saved the warehouse. The ledgers had not burned. But it was not over. The oldest of the customs officers staggered over to a cabinet against the wall. With trembling hands, he opened its small door. It was empty.
The seal is gone.
Leon asked.
What seal? The official customs seal used here. We stamp it on passes and cargo certificates.
Gripping the empty cabinet, the customs officer continued.
One of them left with it a short while ago. He asked for the road to the abandoned mine.
Hardin searched the prisoners. He found a folded sheet of paper in the waist pouch of the man dressed in white. Yun Sioha entered the warehouse and unfolded it. The color drained from her face.
It's a copy of the third pass.
The paper described a wagon carrying victims of an epidemic. It said the wagon would pass through the abandoned mine's service gate at sunset and was not to be inspected due to the risk of infection. The space for the customs seal at the bottom was blank. Beside it, Leon's seal had already been stamped. Leon had never stamped that paper.
They copied my seal.
Yun Sioha turned the paper over. A brief set of instructions was written on the back. Load the original onto the corpse wagon. Stamp it with the customs seal in front of the abandoned mine.
This is the verification copy they left in the warehouse. The original is already on the move with the wagon.
At the south gate, they had smuggled in armed men. At the landing, they had tried to burn the ledgers and stolen the customs seal. Once the person carrying that seal reached the abandoned mine, the third wagon would be made to look like an official transport operating under Leon's orders. They had struck 3 places at once. Leon walked out of the warehouse. The western sky was sinking into crimson.
Leave the wounded at the landing. We'll take only 2 prisoners.
Hardin caught his breath and asked,
Are we heading straight to the abandoned mine?
Leon already had hold of his horse's reins.
First, we stop the forged order bearing my name.
By the time he turned his horse, the sun was already sinking behind the abandoned mine's service gate.